Hey, Laura J. adding a paragraph to the report that I finished in August before a lot of other things took place when I wasn't quite sure how to share this information because it's so controversial and I wanted to make sure that I was telling the tale correctly. Because it is the responsibility of the storyteller to get it right, lest those who listen to the story and then take or follow its lead get sidetracked, and that's not the intention. So I just added this in before I finalize and turn it into a PDF to then say, let's get together and go over it and talk about it and go deeper into it and restructure it and reframe it so that we can actually name what's going on so that it stops claiming our souls. For the section I just wrote is called Our Souls Are the Goal. Each of us are the individuated expressions of all that we all come from, embodied in physical form so that we can reclaim more of our soul fragments that got trapped in not now moments when we didn't know how to process the intensity of emotion that showed up to be claimed through reclamation. But instead of accepting that aspect of us and helping it integrate into our inner emotional system, we left that part of us in the past or future tense in order to be retrieved later. We just didn't expect it to show up in such an unresolved way. When a small trigger sets us off and all the related energies in motion that didn't get solved the first time show up to be resolved in the only moment we ever get to live, now. We failed to see the counterfeit systems of the ideological state apparatuses that our identities have been constructed from within repressive state apparatus that appear real based on commonly accepted beliefs about the meanings assigned to words or signs we recognize without knowledge of their hidden meanings by corrupted means. Dog Latin, diglossa text, weasel words, joker text, and legalese have been used to corrupt the consciousness of the alleged elite who have paid a high cost to join agencies, societies, and groups that elevate us within the corporate structure for as long as we are willing to be a good agent and fulfill the corpse's demands. If reclamation of our soul is the goal, hence all the legal beagles imposing corporate rules to cause harm to innocent and unsuspecting men and women on behalf of the corpse they work and sign on behalf of, then we must see the energetic aspect of us that cannot be measured, but can be felt within the heart. And it is said to weigh 21 ounces. They say is what changes when a person dies, though a person never actually lived, in fact. For the person is a measurement of a title, per being the measurement, son being the title, being measured, that when added together make us believe that this fictitious identity relates to what we truly are, when that is not truly the fact at all. It's the fictitious act we get roped under when the facts are laid out plain and clear, and we just don't know there are different syntax, semantics, and semiotics assigned to what we see and believe we are seeing with our own eyes, except the lies have covered all of that based on legalese being the language the legal beagles use to deceive us to believe that even though we are looking at something that appears to be one way, if we don't realize, they'll say it's a different way and place us as the third person or party in our own story. Well, then shame on us is what they will say, for we should have known better. We should have done what it took in order to know where the rooks were going to be took, for the rooks in chess are the castles, aren't they? Wow, I can't believe how it all ties together in such a magical and mystical way. And so I would say there will be more another day, but for now, our souls are the goal, which is why we came here to become more whole, and we can only do it by actually doing the inner work to reintegrate those energies in motion. The ego said, emotion, go away, I can't deal with you today. Another one, we'll come back, let's do it again. Except In fact, now is all we have, so it needs to come with the trigger that becomes a huge eruption. For all of that, plus then whatever shows up in the now must be resolved at the same time, since we didn't solve that then. You see? This is what we can do together. And she, I, is who I am referring to. But you would say she, because you are the first person in your story, and I am the third person in yours. Though you could say you if you were speaking directly to me. That would be to put me as the second person you spoke to, for these are the pronoun perspectives that we can use, lest they take us down into ideologies, ISAs, ideological state apparatuses that say our state is a certain way when our substance can fit into forms which are states. But that is not all we are, for the substance is so much more. And that is what the soul is, which is why it is the goal of the corporations and us to become more whole. The corpse needs us to fracture and fragment, which is why divide and conquer, using fractions of factions of society that use facts to divide us based on acts, is the way this whole fictitious reality has been constructed to deconstruct us by building us up based on things that don't exist, but that we give a lot of weight to until we begin to shift, which is exactly what I want to do. And I know it may seem I've went adrift, but the rhymes allow us to find the time to see and feel how it feels in our heart, which is earth in a different order, and why the laws have been capitalized, as I shared, on the Peaceful Inner Warriors United channel on YouTube, which is the domain this video appears in too. Domain is not dominion. The words are nearly the same, and yet dominion has so much more, for it is not capitalized. It just requires we have eyes to see the lies of where land, air, and water have been specialized. To say that the all that we have come with the responsibility to responsibly respond to all of these allegations. We came not to get lost in them, but to rise above them by actually learning to stand on the common law that is an unwritten law that we can draw from lest we be drawn into the public. Hence the first Roman Republic becoming an empire. And then we see that the public is in a republic, which means the conversion already took place. Before it seems we lost the democracy, it was already lost. We just didn't see how the guys have been put over the disguises that make us believe it's best to be one of the guys, when it seems our souls might get sold out with the consciousness of the collective that we are implied then to be. Leave a comment below to let me know what this means to and for you, what you're going to do with it. And if you are actually willing to do the inner excavating to become more whole at a soul level, well then I'm your woman to be able to guide you on a journey inward. I believe, because I have done it for myself so many times. I have bled, sweat, and cried tears of pain and joy by becoming more whole in my own soul, to hold the container of sacredness for you to actually meet those parts of you you've pushed off for so long. You might not be able to face them alone, but I can help hold the space for you to become more whole. If you're willing to do the inner work, which only you can do, and if you don't, well, your soul doesn't get to come back to the expanded reality that we can, if we choose, to contract. Laura J, namaste, namago.